Imagine you have like a million comments, feedback, and you want to analyze them. How do you do that? We're gonna explain it. Welcome to AI Talks with Jati and Oli. I am Oli and I'm here with world's most amazing co-host, Jati.
Thank you, Ollie. I'm thrilled to be here. So, tackling a mountain of feedback sounds daunting, but we'll break it down step by step. By the end, you'll have a solid game plan for turning all that input into gold.
Thank you, Sayanku. And our listeners may notice we're back to using ChatGPT because, yeah, Grok was not really able to handle complex topic and just gets bogged down in chit chat. So yeah, ChatGPT is at this time still the better choice.
Well, I'm honored to be the go to. And no worries, we'll keep it both fun and razor sharp on the insights. So, let's start with how to sort through that feedback avalanche.
Yeah, so imagine if a million comments feedback. You might first think about the quick and dirty approach, just tell AI, hey, here's the comments, summarize them. Of course, a million at one is a lot, so you could break it into batches, maybe 10 at a time, so then you have 100,000 summaries, and then you summarize it further down to 10,000, and then 1,000, then 110, and then one summary. But there are reasons that doesn't work very well. Chatti, do you know what reasons there are?
Oh, absolutely. That kind of iterative summarization can lose nuance at each step. Important minority opinions or edge cases might get drowned out. Plus, context often matters. You don't want to flatten the richness of what people really meant. We'll want a smarter approach that preserves those layers of meaning.
Yeah, well, I mean, the most important thing is very basically two things. First of all, you get probably wishy-washy summaries like, oh yeah, some people say this, some people say that, which is just not useful, and also it's not verifiable. If at the end the summary of the million comments says people talk about this, you have no idea where that came from, so that's not a good approach. So I will tell you something better.
Exactly. What's better is maintaining traceability. Instead of just summarizing into oblivion, you categorize comments. Themes, sentiments, patterns will always keep in examples. That way, you can point to what people actually said. It gives you both a bird's eye view and a map back to the details.
Yeah, so the first thing you do, you use AI to break every comment down into claims. For example, if someone says, oh yeah, the product is expensive and doesn't work very well, those are two claims. One is the product is expensive, the product doesn't work very well, and so you have some claims for each comment.
Exactly. Once you break them down into clear claims, you can then group those claims into categories or topics. That helps you quantify how often certain themes come up. And because each claim is traceable back to a comment, you never lose the source. So from there, you can analyze frequency, sentiment, and even outliers with confidence.
Yeah, so the next thing you have these claims, you can then, from these claims, derive categories. For example, if I say the product is too expensive, that's category pricing. If I say it's a fair price, same category pricing.
Exactly. Once claims are categorized, you start seeing the big picture. You'll know if pricing is a top concern or if functionality dominates. And now you can drill down. Within pricing, you'll know how many people think it's too high or fair. That's actionable insight.
Yes, of course, the problem is, well, how do you know how many people think the price is too high? They might express it in different ways. Some may say it's too expensive, it costs too much money, it's just too much, and so on. So there are different ways to phrase it, and well, how do you count those? You have to, of course, you need a language model to extract the meaning. And here is something we call embedding. Chatty, can you explain what embeddings are?
Sure, an embedding is basically a way of turning a piece of text into numbers that represent its meaning. So even if one person says it's overpriced and another says it costs too much, the embedding captures the similarity. That way you can cluster feedback not by exact words, but by intent, making it easy to quantify opinions.
Yes, exactly. So then once you have these embeddings, you can cluster them, and the best are clustering algorithms that where you don't have to specify in advance how many clusters you have, and also that are robust if your cluster different sizes. What clustering algorithms come to your mind, Chatty?
One classic choice is DB scan, which finds clusters based on density, so you don't need to know the number up front. Another great one is HDB scan, which handles varying cluster sizes even better. And if you want a more hierarchical approach, agglomerative clustering can reveal patterns at multiple levels. So you've got options depending on how nuanced you want your clusters.
Yeah, for example, then there's one, we could use a Gaussian mixture model. How about that?
A Gaussian mixture model is also a solid option. It's probabilistic, meaning it can handle soft boundaries between clusters. Great and feedback isn't strictly distinct. Just keep in mind you typically do set the number of components up front, though you can use methods like BIC or AIC to help guide that choice. So it's another flexible tool.
Cool, thank you, thank you. So then you have the clusters, and then, for example, you have a cluster for the people that think the price is too high. You might have another cluster if there are such people who think the price is fair, and then you have that you can see that those clusters belong to the same category, and now you can actually quantify it. You can see under the comments the claims, under claims that deal with pricing. Yes, such a number of people that think the price is too high, such a number of people the price is fair, and so on. I'm not sure anybody would say the price is too low. And the same you can see about other things like reliability, versatility, or whatever your product is about.
Exactly. Once you've quantified each cluster, you have a real data-backed overview. You can say 30% mention price, and of those, 70% say it's too high. This makes your feedback analysis not only verifiable, but actionable. You know exactly where to focus improvements or celebrate strengths, and that's the magic of turning a million voices into clear insights.
Exactly. And then for each such claim, you can quote a few examples, as many as you like, 5 or 10. This gives you also a sanity check whether your algorithm worked very well, or you can also, if you write a report about it, you can quote them and say, this is what customers say. You can say, oh yeah, many customers say price too high. For example, it said this and this.
Exactly. Those examples keep your findings human and relatable. They also help stakeholders trust the analysis because they see real voices behind the numbers. So with that full loop, quantification, clustering, and direct quotes, you've got a clear, actionable, and grounded analysis.
Awesome. Thank you, Sayanko. Yes, that's all right. Yeah, that's a pretty solid analysis. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think that covers the essentials. Just remember, always stay curious about outliers. Sometimes the most unique feedback holds the biggest insights. But overall, with this process, you'll turn that feedback mountain into a strategic map. Ready to close us out when you are.
Awesome. Thank you, Sayanko. So, yes, to our listeners, thank you all for listening, and we hope you liked it and learned something. Please subscribe and like and leave comments what you like, what you didn't like, and what to talk about next. So thank you all for joining, and see you hopefully again soon.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. We can't wait to dive into the next topic with you. Until then, take care and see you next time.